Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. Welcome to our presentation. We will discuss about determinants of financial report, fraud to fraud triangle, case study of consumption good manufacturing companies listed on the IDX in 2018 until 2021. Before we begin this presentation, let me introduce myself. My name is Tita Musawwamah and our team Nurul, Hikmah, Adawiyah, Sri Wahyuni, Topik Hidayattuloh, and Sugiyanto. In this presentation, I have 6 points. Number 1 is introduction. Number 2 is literature in review. Number 3 is hypothesis. Number 4 is method. Number 5 is result and discussion. And the last is conclusion. Introduction. Financial reports are a means of communication between users and issuing entities to be able to provide proper financial information to the public. Financial reports must be free from fraud. Fraud or fraud related to financial transaction with it, an entity becomes an urgency to take preventive and corrective action so that the fraud itself doesn't recur. For the reason, research aims to enrich literacy related to proxies and indicator of evaluating fraud. Fraudulent acts in the financial statements cause the information contained in the financial statements to be irrelevant and cause misstatement that can mislead user of financial statements. When a company presents immaterial information, the financial information cannot be used as a basis for making economic decision because the analysis carried out is not based on actual information. Literature review. I have 3 points for literature review. Number 1 is agency theory. Agency theory exists when there are differences in interest between shareholders as principal and manager as agents. Number 2 is definition. I have 3 definitions. Number 1 is theory fraud triangle, 2 definition fraud triangle, 3 element fraud triangle. Theory fraud triangle. Fraud triangle is a theory developed by Donald R. Treasury is observing the causes of fraud. It is called the fraud triangle because in the fraud process that occurs, there are 3 important stages that influence a person to commit fraud. Number 2 is definition of triangle. In general, fraud is an act of fraud which is carried out in such a way as to benefit individuals or groups or harm other parties, individual companies or institutions. But she is element fraud triangle. Fraud has 3 elements known as the fraud triangle, one of which is the pressure element. The pressure element consists of financial stability, external pressure, and rationalization. These 3 sub-elements are generally the basis for why an entity commits fraud. Thinking framework. This study aims to defect fraudulent financial statements before they develop into problems that are detrimental to the company, as can be seen the following fraud of mine. We can see that in this framework of thinking, there are several variables. Independent variables consisting of financial stability, external pressure, supervisory effectiveness, and rationalization, and dependent variable, namely financial fraud report. The line pointers show the relationship between one variable and others. Hypothesis. I have 4 hypotheses. Number 1 is effect of financial stability on fraudulent financial statements. Final hypothesis, there is a significant effect of financial stability on fraudulent financial statements. Number 2, effect of external pressure on fraudulent financial statements. Final hypothesis, allegedly, there is a significant influence of external pressure on fraudulent financial statements. Number 3, effect of supervision effectiveness on financial statement fraud. Final hypothesis is allegedly there is a significant influence on supervisory effectiveness on fraudulent financial statements. And number 4, the effect of rationalization on financial statement fraud. Rationalization is an important element in the occurrence of fraud, where perpetrators seek justification for their action. Rationalization is the most difficult part of the fraud triangle to measure. Method, data type and search. This type of research in associative connection, the data used is secondary data. Data collection technique use documentary studies. The population used in this study is manufacturing companies in the consumer goods sector in the IDX for the 2018 until 2021 period, namely 63 companies. Sampling in the study using purposive sampling technique, data analysis technique, descriptive statistical test, classical assumption test, multiple linear regression analysis, and hypothesis testing. Result and discussion. The T-statistic test. 1. Hypothesis 1 testing. Based on the table above, the financial stability variable has a significant value of 0.044, meaning it is smaller than 0.05, so that the financial stability variable is proven to have a significant effect on fraudulent financial statement, so that final hypothesis is rejected and initial hypothesis is accepted. 2. Hypothesis 2 testing. Based on the table above, the external pressure variable has a significant value of 0.000, meaning it is smaller than 0.5, and based on the result on the regression analysis show the external pressure has a negative and significant effect, so that the external pressure variable is proven to have a negative and significant effect on the financial statement fraud variable, so that final hypothesis is rejected and initial hypothesis is accepted. Number 3, hypothesis 3 testing. Based on the table above, the supervisory effectiveness variable has a significant value of 0.308, which means it is greater than 0.05, so that the supervisory effectiveness variable is proven to have no significant effect on the financial statement fraud variable, so that final hypothesis accepted and initial hypothesis is rejected. Hypothesis for testing, based on the table above, the rationalization variable has a significant value of 0.094 greater than 0.05, so that the rationalization variable proved to have no significant effect on the financial statement fraud variable, so that final hypothesis is accepted and initial hypothesis is rejected. Based on the table above, it showed the simultaneous significant test for the F value of 2022.966 with a significant value of 0.000, which is less than 0.05. This result indicates that the independent variables of financial stability, external pressure, supervisory effectiveness, and rationalization simultaneously have a significant effect on the dependent variable of fraudulent financial statements. Based on the table above, in the adjusted R-square column, the coefficient of determination is 0.486, which means that the independence variable of financial stability, external pressure, supervisory effectiveness, and rationalization are able to explain 48.6%, while the rest 100% mean 48.6% is 51.4% is explained by other variables not analyzed in the study. Conclusion. We have 5 conclusions in the study. Number 1, from the result of data analysis, it is obtained the partially of financial stability variable has an influence on fraudulent financial reporting in manufacturing companies in the consumer goods sectors. Number two, the result of data analysis it is obtained partially the external pressure variable has an influence on fraudulent financial statement in manufacturing companies in the consumer goods. Number three, from the result of data analysis, the result were obtained partially the effectiveness variables of supervisor have no influence of the fraud of financial statements in manufacturing companies in the consumer goods sector. Number four, from the result of data analysis, it was obtained partially the rationalization variable had no effect on fraudulent financial statement in manufacturing companies in the consumer goods sectors. And the last, from the result of data analysis, the results showed the simultaneously the variables of financial stability, external pressure, supervisory effectiveness, and rationalization have an influence on fraudulent financial reporting in manufacturing companies in the consumer goods sectors. Thank you for attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.